So here is Mengel's Manflayers. They're a little worse for wear. I try to be very good about keeping this whole set together, but having moved so many times and moving them to friends' houses and back, and I've lost more pieces than I care to admit. But overall, I have most of it. So I want to use these for the brigands in my Renegade Crowns list. So I'm going to have to try and get these guys back to their former glory. I had 10. I don't know where the last one went because he got mixed up. My friend plays Dark Elves. This guy and the other one got mixed up in his Dark Elf Shade unit somehow. But now I can't find the other one that was painted. So I'll try and track him down. But in the meantime, I'm going to try and bring these guys back. I do have the standard and the musician, but because I don't want that in the unit, I'm not putting those on. But I don't want to alter the models any. So anything I do to these, I want to be able to revert them back. So I'm setting the standard and the horn aside. And I'm going to use bits to convert those into regular fighting members of the unit. So I scrounged through the bits box. They're missing the part of the crossbow, the bow part. I lost those like almost 2 minutes after I bought the kit. Like they're just so tiny and fiddly and they immediately broke off. So for that, I scrounged my bits box and found some Dark Elf crossbows to use. So I'm going to cut them off and glue them to the tip. I also want to flesh the unit out. And that's going to be a little hard to do because this kit's pretty hard to find. And I'm not paying $200 and something for like 5 guys. Like, I just want the unit to be at least 15 so they can take some shooting and still make it to objectives and what have you. So, I found that the closest unit in scale and armor is the Corsairs, the plastic Corsair kit. Now, I'd heard rumors that GW was going to be taking all of the old Dark Elf units out of AOS, so I went over to buy them, and they were already gone from the web store. And tracking them down online has been a nightmare. So I went to my local game store and scrounged around there, and then I found this box. It is the Anvil Guard box. Of course, it's gonna give me trouble. The Anvil Guard box from AOS, because it has the plastic Corsairs in it, and the other bits of it I plan to give my friend, because he plays Dark Elves and he does not have a Charybdis or a Chariot. So if he happens to see this video, he'll know that he's getting that. But that unit also gives me the bits to flesh these guys out as well. They do have crossbows in the kit, but the crossbow part is too bulky to glue on, I think. But I can also replace, this is the banner bearer, I can give him a weapon. This guy, I can give him a sword, because I gave his sword to Mengel, because I thought the champion should have a bigger sword than the plastic kit. So I'm going to now show you how I plan to convert the Black Orc Corsairs into members of Mengel's Manflayers. So here's the unit all brought up to speed. As you can see, I threw them on 25mm bases. For the Dogs of War, I plan to keep everything on the 20mm because in case I want to play a older edition, and then I can use base adapters. But for one, these guys are skirmishers, so I can't really have a adapter tray. But also, because of their dynamic poses, they were constantly falling over on 20s. Like, all the time. So, this helped them obviously be stable, and also, I don't have to figure out some kind of adapter situation. So as you can see, I've added some of the bits from the Corsair kit. Let's see, this guy, for instance, I actually think his pose is really cool. This is the musician. So he's normally holding out the horn outstretched, and the kit came with an outstretched crossbow shooting hand. So with his pose, it looks like he's actually lining up a shot. So that's pretty neat. I have the sword from the kit. And here's the crossbow bits from the Dark Elf plastic crossbow kit. I had tried to make a notch to have it line up, but the plastic was starting to deform, and I only had exactly enough of these, so I didn't want to break them. So I scraped a channel and glued them to the bottom. It's really not a big deal. You won't even really notice on the tabletop once they're painted. This guy has a sword. Mangle. I have his little crossbow here. So I have those guys up to snuff. Now the challenge was converting the Corsairs to the Manflayers. So with the Corsair kit, unfortunately, the cloaks of the kit are part of the back of the model. So there's a chest plate on the front, and then the back of the chest plate is attached to the dragon cloak, as you can see. Now, in theory, I could just fill this up with green stuff because they're wearing cloaks. But I wanted the neck to be properly aligned, because if I sculpted the neck myself, it could be too far forward, too far back, and I'd have to do it each time. So instead, I made a press mold of the back piece. And this has the neck on it, so I can get proper neck alignment. And then I trim all this flash off. So once I glue that to the chest piece and trim the flash, I have something like this. So there's this guy. I have him balancing the crossbow on his sword. But then we have his back, and then I get the proper neck alignment, and then I have somewhere to glue the arms. Now in this one, on some I think I'm going to have to build a backup, but because I had a little extra flash on this, I won't have to. This is going to be covered by a cloak anyway, so I'm not worried about bulking that particular one up. But for the cloaks, I made a press mold. And it's hard to see because it's clear, but I made a press mold of their skin cloaks on my metal miniatures. And currently I have one here curing. I don't want them to fully cure, because when I pull it out, I can wrap it around different parts of the model and then make a more dynamic flappy cloak. So I'll show me putting one on, but here's one I did earlier to test it out. Here's the Corsair. I gave him the hook weapon to match the standard bearer. So this is the Corsair with the press molded skin cloak. As you can see, his legs kicked out, so when it was still wet, I wrapped it around his leg. And that makes a finished plastic Manflayer. So I'm going to show you now how I put on the skin cloak on one of the plastic miniatures. Alright, so here's our press mold. I think it could probably use a little more time, but I'm going to try it anyway. Take it out very slowly here. Okay. So here we have our press mold. There's a little flash on the bottom, but I'm gonna wait till it dries before I cut it off. And then we take our guy. I'm gonna angle it up here. And then take the sculpting tool and wrap it around his neck. I don't know why this thing isn't focusing. So we have that on there. And because it's still a little wet, we're going to press it up against him to get that flowing look. And I'm going to tighten up the edges and all that, but that is how I put the cloaks on. So here's the Manflayer unit assembled. I made 15. I figured usually it's like a unit of 10, but you know, you want some guys to take some casualties, so I made 15. And I have them ranked up, which would have been impossible on 20mm bases. Also, the plastic Corsairs have a less dynamic pose, so if you tuck them between the metal ones, it allows for a little more lining up. But as you can see, they're all here lined up, and now that they're primed, they really fit in good together. I was worried that the old models wouldn't mix in well with the plastic models, but I think they work pretty perfectly. And also, these guys are skirmishing, so they're only going to rank up if they get into combat. So, but here they are. Take a plastic one out. This is the Corsair, and then here you have the cloak that I made a mold of. And then this guy, he's actually got a head from the Cold One kit. So overall, I think they came out pretty good. I think they'll work very well as brigands. There's Mangle himself with the new crossbow. So, quick little video. I just wanted to get it out in case you guys wanted to track some Dark Elves down before they disappear from your local store or something. There are rumors they're coming back to Old World, but who knows anymore. Games Workshop kind of is all over the place with Old World, so if you don't want to rely on them re-releasing these or not, I just want to make this real quick so you could possibly go out and get them if you wanted to make a plastic version of Mangle, or like I did, fill out your previous unit. So thanks for watching. See you again soon.